Hello guys, I'm Unstable Voltage and I wanted to talk a little about the Steam launch of Mortal Kombat X and the colossal disaster that it was. First of all, let me apologise for the very poor and suboptimal gameplay in the background. What you're watching is literally my first couple attempts of playing Mortal Kombat X, and I haven't looked at the moves list or learnt any combos or anything, but I just wanted some background footage to ramble against. So for those of you who don't know, Mortal Kombat X, or Mortal Kombat 10, is the latest game in the Mortal Kombat franchise, developed by NetherRealm Studios and published by Warner Bros. Interactive. And it launched today on April 14th, 2015, and had a simultaneous launch on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. It is coming out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but that's going to be a few months down the line. Now, I'll be quite honest, I've always been a fan of the Mortal Kombat games, and I was very excited to be able to play Mortal Kombat X, and as such, I did pre-order it. I actually pre-ordered it through Green Man Gaming. I tend to do that with a lot of games because I get good deals from them. The majority of the games I play on PC are through Steam, and as long as that service continues to work the way it has been, I shall continue to use it. So what is the big deal with Mortal Kombat X and its current launch problems? Well, I checked last night on the Steam store page, and it said that the game was due to go live in approximately 19 hours. I did a quick bit of math and worked out that that would be approximately 6 or 7 PM UK time, which would have been about 10 or 11 AM Pacific time, which for me is kind of standard what I would expect from a Steam launch for a game. As annoying as it is when a game is supposed to come out on a particular day, that we have to wait until the day is nearly over before it launches, I understand the way that these regional launches go, and I accepted that. So I was expecting to be able to play the game today about 6 or 7 PM, and I'd accepted that. Now, I happened to go online this morning at 11 AM, and I had a look, and on the front of the Steam store page, it actually said Mortal Kombat X was now available. And I thought, well, that's very odd, because I wasn't expecting it for another 8 hours or so. And I had a look, and sure enough, it's all over Steam's front page, the big splash screen at the top, Mortal Kombat X now available. You go to the games page, Mortal Kombat X now available. I thought, okay, great, brilliant. I went to my email, checked, I'd had my email from Green Man Gaming that included my Steam key. Fantastic, it's ready to go. But as I clicked on the Steam store page for Mortal Kombat X, I noticed that there are over 1,000 reviews for the product already. And it said mixed. Now, that started alarm bells ringing, because when I see a AAA game on Steam that has mixed reviews within 3 hours of it going live, because I checked about 11 AM, and from what I understand, it went live about 8 AM UK time. So it would have been midnight Pacific time when it actually went live. So I looked at these reviews, and half of the people were posting negative reviews saying that they had downloaded the game, installed it, tried to play it, and it crashed them to desktop. The other half of the reviews were people being clever, giving it positive reviews and saying that it was a 10 out of 10 menu simulator. I thought, well, okay, if a AAA game is getting mixed reviews this early on, it's not normally a problem with the gameplay itself, it's normally some kind of game-breaking bug or something that is stopping people from playing. I decided to have a look at the online discussions, the forums on Steam, because sometimes there are a few voices of reason in there. And I actually found a few pieces of information out, and these are the things that I found quite strange. First of all, the game did seem to go live earlier than it was supposed to, and this is because Steam were actually trying out a new streaming download system. So instead of being able to preload the game, what you actually have is a system that is supposed to be similar to the way Battle.net works with a lot of the Blizzard games, which is the game downloads a big portion to start with, which is supposed to be enough so that you can start playing, and the rest of the content is streamed in the background. Now that makes a lot of sense. World of Warcraft did that very well. It downloads enough of the game to get you going, it downloads the area that you start in, you start playing, and the game starts downloading the closer areas first, so the content is literally loading in the order that it is required to play, and it works quite well. And that's the idea behind this. This is what's supposed to have actually happened with this launch, but it didn't work that way. So upon putting in the key, the game downloaded and installed 3 GB. Now, that 3 gigabytes allowed me to launch the game, configure the options, the video settings, the controls, and all of that stuff. It showed me the intro movie. It allowed me to pick my faction, because you can pick one of 5 factions, which is basically like a sort of an online leaderboard sort of thing. So it allowed me to pick my faction. And that was basically it. The only options that were highlighted was training and sort of 1v1 combat. Whenever I tried to start something, it literally crashed to the desktop. And I thought, okay, that's what I'm expecting. Now, there was a news release from NetherRealm Studios saying about the way the streaming download service was supposed to work. And that once you launch the game for the first time, there would be a series of DLCs listed on Steam, and they would start to download in the background, and that would be the rest of the game. Now, for me and a lot of other people, nothing was downloading. It actually took about 3 hours for someone to realise that the DLC was not actually showing up for people, and someone went and flicked a switch somewhere and it was able to start downloading. Now, the rest of the game was divided into 29 parts of DLC. Now, they weren't all of equal size. I think the smallest one was about 125 megabytes, and the largest one was about 10.8 gigabytes. So there's a big difference in some of these file sizes. Now, they all start downloading in order. It downloads part 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 was missing. Then there was 6, 7, 8. 9 was missing. And then there was 10 to 29. Now, the strange thing is that once I downloaded the first couple of these packs, I decided, okay, I'll go into the game and see what I can do. I've got some of the packs now. I've got some of the content. I can start playing. Well, that wasn't the case. It had downloaded a couple of characters, but unfortunately, when I selected those characters and tried to go into a single game, I could select characters, but then there were no arenas. So instead of actually putting at least 1 or 2 of the arenas in one of the earlier packs so that you could at least play a game with a selection of 2 characters, they didn't. Now, you could select the tutorial mode. The tutorial mode is a scripted tutorial where you basically get to play as Scorpion versus Sub-Zero on one arena, which is the sort of the Snow Forest arena, which you see in the main menu and probably the ones that you've seen on the game's trailer. Now, the odd thing is, if you actually go into the single-player game, that arena wasn't available to play on, even though it's in the tutorial, and you couldn't select Sub-Zero or Scorpion, which was really, really strange. Not only that, the people that were able to download the DLC were only getting download speeds of maybe 150 to 200 kilobytes per second, and I was getting the same. Now, I don't have a problem with my downloads. I've got a 160 meg line, which for the UK is considered well above the average and quite fast. So I waited a little bit longer and noticed around about probably 4:30, 5 PM UK time that the 5th and 9th DLC pack had appeared on the list, and the download speed had started to increase. In fact, my download speed started to get up to around about 18-19 megasecond, which was really good. Now, I actually managed to download the entire thing a couple of minutes before 6. So considering that I wasn't expecting to even be able to play the game before 6 PM, I actually managed to get the whole thing downloaded and installed before 6, which is fantastic. So it's currently about 20 to 7 UK time while I'm actually recording this now. And I have been able to play the game, because you can see that in the video behind. But what you will notice, especially at the start of this video, online is currently unavailable. Story mode is unavailable. Tower mode is unavailable. And Test Your Luck is unavailable. Now, maybe that's because the game doesn't officially launch until 7 PM. And if that's the case, those modes may become available later, which is what I'm expecting. I'm not mad. I'm not raging because I can't play the game, because as far as I was concerned, I wouldn't be able to play it until 7 PM anyway. And there's still 20 minutes to go. So as far as I'm concerned, this is great. I've already got to play the game. I've got to have a handful of rounds in a 1v1 match, because I've got an access to the game slightly earlier before its launch. I can't play the story mode yet, which is a little bit disappointing, because I am looking forward to that. But I understand that it's not technically launched yet, so that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The things that I have a problem with, first of all, there's been a bit of a mistake on Steam's part, because if you're going to put a game on your store page and say that it is available, then it should be available. there's probably people that didn't know the official launch time of the game. They went onto Steam this morning, looked on the Steam's page, it says Mortal Kombat X is available, so they hand over their money, download it, and they can't play. Now bear in mind this game downloads 3 gigabytes to start with, and the remaining 29 parts is about another 27 gigabytes, so it's nearly a 30 gig total download. And these people are downloading that, and then it's still saying, yeah, but you can't play for another 8 hours. So the mistake here is that Steam have actually said that the game is available when you can't actually play it. And now there's been, I don't know who that mistake was caused by, whether it was a problem at NetherRealm's end, or whether it was Warner Brothers' end, or whether it was Valve's end. But nobody has said anything, and that's the other problem. There's been no official word, even from NetherRealm, to say, yeah, we're very sorry, it's a mistake with the launch window, we're sorting it out, it'll be available to play from X time. Nobody has said anything. And it's been completely reliant on the Steam community to actually go through, have a look, and try and do the research and work out what is going on. But of course, many people don't check these things. Many people will just try and download the game, click play, get kicked to the desktop, go onto Steam and start raging about lawsuits and wanting their money back because the game is broken and buggy and stuff like that. And I can understand that. If you've just paid $60, or in the case of people who have the deluxe edition, if you've just paid like $90 for a game that it says it's available and you can't play, you're going to be pretty annoyed. And that is something that I can completely understand. But the second issue is the actual way that this streaming download system works. Considering that I've managed to download all 30 gigabytes of the game before the official launch window, they might as well have just made it a pre-install, like most Steam games are. That would have made much more sense. Now, I understand having a streaming download if the purpose of it is to let you start playing the game before it's finished downloading, which is what a lot of the consoles do with digital downloads. But it doesn't seem like the download was split in such a way that it would download things in a sensible order. All they seem to have done is took the game, chopped it up into 30 parts, and you just download it bit by bit. The fact that it actually downloads all of the characters first, and you have to get to about the, I think someone said it was the 20th part before you actually got any of the arenas and were able to play, is a little bit ridiculous. If it's not going to download at least the bare minimum to let you play a game with 2 characters and 1 arena, what is the point of having a streaming system? You may as well have just made it a preload, because for most people that is what it's going to be. Now, like I said, I haven't had a chance to play the story. I may do a review on the game later on and see what it's like. So far, from the single-player 1v1 matches that I've played, I actually quite enjoy what I see, and I think it has the potential to be a good game. But I did just want to address this issue with the launch because, one, I've seen quite a lot of problems recently where Steam have messed up, well, I assume it's Steam, but where launch windows have been actually messed up on Steam, and it said that a game is available when it isn't. People see that, they go and spend their money, and they can't play. And of course, that's very, very annoying. Especially when you could go to a brick and mortar store at 9 AM in the morning, buy the game on disc, come home and install it. Yet if you want to buy it online, you've got to wait several hours before you get to play. And in today's world where everything is digital download, that's a little bit stupid. So I disagree with that. And the other thing I disagree with is this streaming system. Now, I appreciate that it is in beta. It's something new that Steam is trying out. But I think this is proven that it doesn't really work all that well. Okay, the system may improve, and as someone did mention in the actual Steam forums, it might have been a case that Warner Brothers just went to NetherRealm Studios and went, what you need to do is split the game down into 30 parts, and didn't really tell them why. And they just went, well, okay. And nobody had sort of said what we need to do is split it down into 30 parts and make it so that they download in a certain order so that people can start playing in advance. But even though we can start playing in advance, we still can't play the story mode anyway. I will reiterate, I am not salty because I can't play it, because as far as I'm concerned, it's not even out yet. And I think the fact that I've got to play it before the official launch time is fantastic. I just hope Steam doesn't go down this road of these streaming downloads with all their titles. If people want it as an option, fine, let them have it as an option. But I do believe the better option is to stick with preloads like you have for all of your other games and give people the streaming option if they want, maybe because they've got a slower connection and they don't want to sit and wait for 30 gigabytes to download before they can start to play. So either give people a 24-hour preload or allow those people with a slower connection to stream the game if they want to. But that's only going to work if those downloads have been put together in such a way that it streams the data in a logical order. And that's all I've got to say on the matter. So, for any of you who have bought Mortal Kombat, or Mortal Kombat X, if you can't get it working right now, though by the time this video actually goes live, it should have gone past the official launch date, and then if it's not fully playable by then, there probably will be a lot of issues and a lot more shouting and ranting by people, but I think you'll find that most of these problems will go away. Like I said, I'm not really bashing Mortal Kombat here. I'm not really having a pop at NetherRealm or Warner Brothers or Valve, whoever has caused the fault. I just hope that Valve don't go down this issue with Steam on these streaming downloads, because I don't necessarily think it's the way to go. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye for now.